Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. I hope you are doing wonderfully well. You can see behind me here, it is an amazing, beautiful fall day. I mean, it's amazing. I still haven't put on shoes, right? So it's still warm enough. I don't really put on shoes all year round. But anyways, the point is, it's still really beautiful. I haven't put on a jacket. Maybe we can do that. So no jackets, no long pants. And you can see behind me, it's just gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. Thank you always to everybody who has supported Mountain Stream Teas, even though this is not like an email week. It's still like super busy, so I'm still working hard and bird fight, and packing up tea all day long, which I am wildly grateful for. So thank you very much for that, guys. Anyways, I don't know what's going on. Bird fight, and we had a typhoon last week, so not a lot of live streams last week, and so today we're doing Pear Mountain Winter. So winter Pear Mountain must be coming off a bit. Must be cooling off a bit. The beard is starting to come back. Yes, well, that is more to do with laziness than anything else. I let it go for a couple of days. I was like, let's see what happens. And then, well, it's still going. But today we are going to do this beautiful tea. Now, this beautiful tea is, of course, the Pear Mountain Winter. The way the winter teas work in Taiwan. So in the springtime, the teas actually start in the lower elevations, and then it goes the higher up you go. Actually, it's not exactly that easy, but anyways, it sort of goes. But basically, it's lower elevation winter teas start, and then you go up the mountain. So they start maybe in late March, early April. Then Alishan is April. Then May, you're getting into the Pear Mountains, 2,000 meters, things like that. And then it comes back down. June is when you get in the bug bitten teas and things like that. It's the opposite for the winter time. So October is the higher mountain stuff. And then November is sort of the Alishan areas and things like that. And then as you go up, as you go through the time periods, then the lower the elevation, sort of the more you get into those time periods. Now, why is that? Well, because the lower elevations also kind of cheat. So if it's good weather, then they're going to be picking in June. They might even pick in August. They might pick in September. And then the higher elevations, they can't cheat, right? They only get 3 chances a year, right? So they only get 3 chances a year. So because they only get 3 chances a year, then they do those 3 chances for sort of the higher elevation stuff. And right now, I'm starting to get in the higher elevation wintertime teas, right? So the higher elevation wintertime teas are starting to come in. Now, while we're waiting for this, just to let you guys know, this month's subscription box, I spilled some tea on it earlier, but anyways, this month's subscription box is, look at that, double-sided, is going to be, there's the Alpine White, there's the Sanxiao White, there's both Dongding tea cakes. So the white teas, the white teas are a blind taste. So the Alpine White and the Sanxiao White, there's a blind taste there. And then the Dongding tea cakes, the 2012 and the 2022, or sorry, the 2020 is also a blind tea taste thing. And then there's the Bird Planted Red, which I had on the last live stream. And then there is the Dragon's Eye Flowers. So there was like 7 teas in this one, 7 teas. And then also there's 2 fresh, fragrant, and potent Taiwanese vanilla beans. So there's 7 different little bags in this month's subscription box. So this month's subscription box it's a banger. There's not too much of each, right? These are actually pretty expensive teas this month. I didn't count them. I was like, I'm just putting them in. I didn't count how much money I made this month, but I don't think I'm making very much money on the subscription box this month. But that's okay. It's totally fine. No complaints I'm totally okay with that. But yeah, there's 7 different teas in this month's subscription box. So if you're getting it, it's on the way to you. If you have gotten the subscription box, it is on the way to you. And unless you bought like last night, everything is on the way to you anyways. Next, I put out questions. So there's a couple questions. One was tisanes. Right now, there's a touch of the sol leaf chrysanthemum left, just a touch left, maybe like, I don't know, 100 grams or something like that. So if you like that tea, you better have at it. There is the dragon's eye flowers. There's all the floral teas, of course. And I'm looking at cinnamon. Oh, there's a vanilla, but I don't know whether you call that a tisane. I'm looking at the cinnamon, so wild cinnamon. So in the mountains out here, you can see behind me all these beautiful mountains. In those mountains, there's like a Chinese medicine cinnamon that grows, and it's amazing. It's sweet and floral, spicy. Like, it's just an amazing plant. And when I go up in the mountains, when I used to be a guide, we'd go up and there'd be these trees, and people were getting cold. I just go and pick some trees and be like, okay, chew on this. Be like, what are you talking about? Wow, this is great. And then it would warm them up. And so there are some of those. I'm trying to get some of that as a tisane. I'm also, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to go to the tea shows and see if I can find some more tisanes and things like that. But oftentimes the wintertime, the dead of winter, is for tisanes in Taiwan. That's when sort of the flowers have the most amount of time to go and do flowery type things. And so I'm hoping I can get some really good tasting, not chrysanthemums. The one that's like marigolds. So I'm hoping to get, there's like a certain type of small leaf marigold that's really good for you. It doesn't actually taste all that good, I don't think, anyways. It depends whether you like what your connotations of marigolds are. It's okay. It's not bad. But they have that around here, so I'm going to try and get some of that as well. And they make honey out of it, and that I couldn't do it. I couldn't eat the honey. It wasn't very good. Although I bet you it has some really good stuff in it. What other questions were there? I'll probably have to go and look in a second for the questions, maybe near the end. There was tisanes. There was, I don't know, I can't remember. Just looked at them, but I can't remember. Anyways, they will come back to me, I am sure. What is a wintertime tea? So we'll just go through this quick, just for people who don't know. There are teas that are grown in, well, let's just do high mountain teas. In general, you can put this out. It's much easier to see in high mountain teas because they're so exceptional, and they live in such extreme conditions that it's really, really easy to see in the wintertime teas. And so when you're looking at the wintertime teas, springtime teas, fall time teas, and again, the lower elevation is sort of the same thing, but not exactly the same. The the higher elevation teas, the springtime tea is going to be a little bit like this. The stem is going to look like this, kind of thick, and then it's going to go boom. It's going to have double. So thick at the bottom, thin at the top. The fall time teas, they're just like this, right? Thin, sort of all the way up. Wintertime teas, thick at the bottom, and then a tiny, tiny little bit of thin. Now, what is that? What am I talking about when I'm talking about that? Well, the colder it is, the more the tea plants have a hard time growing up the leaves. So in the springtime, it's a wintertime, they start growing, and then it gets beautiful in the spring, and then boom, up it goes. Right? So then it goes, so you get that doubleness in those tea trees. Like the bottom looks like wintertime, and the top looks like fall. Fall, the weather's nice. The weather's perfect. So after the springtime pick, they cut it back, and then the tea's like, yeah, this is great. And it just grows up nice and fast, and you get sort of big, skinnier, not too skinny, but basically those are the types of leaves you're getting, sort of thinner leaves. Not quite as thin as the tops of the springtime teas, but basically the same idea. The fall, it's cold. and it gets colder and colder and colder, and the tea trees are like, okay, I'm still going to do it. So it goes up, and then the part that you pick off the top, just a little bit, boop, just like that, and then you get those things, and they're all sort of shorter. And it has different tastes. Every single one of them has different tastes. Now, after I get one of these two, I will actually have the 3-season taster set, which is very rare. I haven't had that for a couple of years, because usually I actually kept some springtime tea. I held it back so that you guys can have that 3-season sample set. And so there'll be the Pear Mountain 3-season sample set, where you can actually have a real taste for what the 3 seasons are like. Now, springtime teas are generally just the most well-rounded, balanced, softest tea. They have some floral, they have some fruit, they have all those different things, but they have it all. Fall time teas or summertime teas, what you're looking at is you're looking at the teas that grow up sort of faster. They're more thicker, they're more buttery, they've got more strength to their flavor. They've got more fruit and less floral. And then the wintertime teas are extremely strongly floral. They have more floral in them than any of the other types of teas, but less fruit flavors. So they got less fruit, but they have more floral flavors, more of a vegetal sort of punch to them. And that's in general what you're looking at for the various seasons. Now, the lower elevations, things get complicated. There's bug bitten and blah, 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 blah. But the higher up you go, that's sort of what your flavor characteristics are looking at. Now, here's the question. You guys should know this. If you're listening intently, you should already understand why. What type of leaf gives out the floral flavors? Is it the sort of the flavor? Is it the leaves that grow up fast and they're skinny, or the ones that are really thick and strong, sort of more at the base? I haven't watched Jeopardy in like 20 years. So I don't even remember the music. Anyways, obviously, yes, the lower thick tea leaves at the bottom, they're bringing out vegetal, florals, and if they're too mature, bitterness and astringency. The lighter ones, thick and strong. There we go. The dun, 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 dun. There you go. Okay, it came back to me. Just like all the questions that people ask will come back to me, I'm sure. And so what you're looking at there is, at the bottom, they've got more of those floral flavors. As you go up, you're getting the sort of the fruit flavors, the sweet flavors, and different flavors like that. So as you move up, you're getting those various different kinds of flavors, right? And so that's what you're looking. Oh, I got to turn that off. Anyways, sorry that the fireworks went off on the YouTube again. That's why the springtime teas sort of are more round and have all the flavors, and then the teas that are in the fall have more of the teas in the fall have more of the sort of the fruit flavors and the thicker sort of buttery flavors, because they're mostly just the sort of the teas around. Some of them are pretty thick too, but anyway, stronger flavors like that. The lower down, faster growing are going to give you those sort of stronger flavors, but not on the floral side. And then that's what the wintertime tea has, sort of thicker, deeper florals, vegetals, and oftentimes a stronger taste. So there we go. Questions about that, throw them in the chat. I'm always happy to talk about it. Right now, I have the wintertime teas. Now, I had this briefly yesterday. I did a quick little jump in, and I think I already know which one I'm going to get, but it's annoying. And the reason it's annoying is because one of them is sort of really, really classic wintertime tea. The other one is got a little bit more of the fall stuff going on. And in a minute, I'll talk about why that is. I'll even see if I can pull out the different flavors and look what the actual leaves look like when that happens. But anyways, we'll see what happens. I'll pull it out and we'll see if we can actually see it in the leaves. Is that due to chemical composition, concentration of physical structure, limiting manipulation during Erlang processing, the flavor difference? That's a great question. And it would need study. I mean, I can guess, I can throw it out there, and I can say that in general, when the plants are growing up, you are, they have more time for defenses, right? And so, for example, the bugs, they're not after, well, some of the bugs are, but most of the bugs are not. They're after the little tips, right? That's got all the good stuff. That's the stuff that's growing up. It's softer. It's easier to have those flavors. Whereas you go down, then you're getting more and more into the flavors that are, they've matured more, and so they've got more defenses, so more bitterness and astringency. Where the ones at the top, that's what everybody wants, right? We want it, they want it, the bugs, that is, and so definitely there would be something like that to go deeper into that question and to be like, what are the structures or the chemicals or the various things that are in that would bring out those flavors. You can guess, but I'm no plant biologist. There's a word and I'm forgetting it. Anyways, whatever, the biologist that works with plants. So this one here must be the 26th. So these are fresh teas. So this one is October the 26th. This one is October the 27th, I think. Let me just try this one to double check and make sure. So when I sample teas, I look at the days so I can sort of know what I'm looking at. And then after that, I will usually do botanist. There we go. Thank you very much. I will, oftentimes I'll do a blind tasting where I don't know the days, just to make sure that I'm not putting my botany. There we go. What season is the most sweet, excluding bug bitten? Great question. And that's a really tough one because in general, sweetness is not due to seasonal. So sweetness is not seasonal. It doesn't really matter about the seasons. It matters on the weather and things like that in general, outside of bug bitten, of course. I don't think there's a firm and fast rule. I would say you could argue that springtime would be the sweetest. You could argue that, but I don't think I'd die on that hill. Certainly the fall time teas they can be very, very sweet, but they're going to have more chance of bitterness and astringency. Strong vegetal bitterness and astringency, they usually go together with the floral, right? Of course, because of what I just was talking about. The summertime teas, unless they are bug bitten, or the fall time teas, unless they're bug bitten, they can be sweet, but it's more sort of a buttery fruit sweetness. So I apologize, but I will have to go back to the answer of every single question about tea. It depends. I apologize, but that's where we are. It depends. It depends. But if you take out the bug bitten, then all bets are off, right? If you take out the bug bites, then all bets are off. So this one here is this will be the 27th. Yeah. So there's 27. I was right. This one is 26. I was right. And I'm having a tough one because this one is a little bit closer. It's softer. It's a little bit closer to the fall time teas, although it still does have, a wintertime soul. This one is much more wintry, but it does have a little bit more of a kick to it. Now, it's not a kick in the sense of like, what's wrong with this tea? This tea is terrible. No, it's not like that. It's just a little bit more. Upfront floral, buttery, thick, smooth mid-mouth. And then the aftertaste has more of a little catch to it. Much more than this one. This one is softer and smoother. And let's see. Remember, I didn't choose the leaves. I randomly put the leaves in. Let's take out some of these leaves and let's just see what we're looking at. So here right away you can see that this is, pretty big leaves. You can see this here. But this is your classic wintertime pick right here. So here you've got this. You can see this. This is the thick leaf here, and then you've got the bud, and then the other leaf. So this is your classic wintertime pick, right? Just like that, really, really thin. A springtime pick is going to have the same base, but it's going to go up like this high, right? Whereas the fall time pick is going to be sort of a little bit bigger. And so this is your classic wintertime pick, right? So I just take out a random leaf here. Here's an even better example of your classic wintertime pick, right? So you got the two leaves and a bud right there, and you can see how thin it is, right? That's super thin, right? It's just super thin, right? So you can see it right there, 2 leaves and a bud, right? 2 leaves and a bud, super thin. And so this one, looking at it, has got a lot more of that type of stuff in there. I'm also seeing some weird stuff in here. I don't know. Maybe it's just because. No, it's okay. It's okay. Oh yeah. Look at that. What are they doing? There's some bad pickers on this one. Some bad pickers. Now, you can see this is not supposed to ever happen. Ever. Anyways, there's some bad pickers in there who did this. Now, this is not picked by machines, because machines don't leave things like this. But this is picked by, they're just going too fast, and so they pick the top and the bottom. That's annoying. But let's look over here. So over here we got this one, and yeah, this looks basically the same. So I'm wondering why this one is different. It could have been different parts of the garden. This one looks like it's a little bit more oxidized. It could depend on the weather, could depend on so many different things for the different flavors. And I'm still like, I don't know which one to pick. Do I pick this one? Do I pick that one? Now, also too, I'll talk about this now. Before I say this, I don't want to be like saying that I'm also talking my book. Like, you should buy these teas. They're nice if you like these types of teas. But this year is not the best year for wintertime teas, because we had so much. Well, the High Mountain wintertime teas. Actually, the ones that are happening right now in Alishan might be one of the best in years and years and years and years. Maybe it's possible they're picking right now. Maybe not, though. Actually, probably not. But anyways, what happens when you want a really good wintertime tea? You want to have it to be super dry, there to be some rain, and then to be super dry again and cooler. And that's going to give you the best wintertime tea. And that's going to give you the very, very best. This year, it rained too much. And so I think a lot of the times the teas that are going to be coming up are going to be coming out all over the place. And house roast. Somebody asked me if there was going to be a house roast tea. I don't know. I've got to go and visit. I think he's out of jail. But I got to go and visit the mayor. And so I don't know whether there will be a house roast tea. I do not know. I hope there will be, but I do not know. We'll just have to see about that. And I think I'm going to get the 27. I think. Anyways, maybe I'll get the 26. But this year for the fall time teas, I don't know whether I'm going to get a huge amount. I don't know whether I'm going to get, I'm going to wait until Wednesday to order. We'll see how much I order of the wintertime teas. I'm going to get it. I want to do the 3-season thing. Would you consider blending the 2 days? Absolutely, I would, except for the fact of what I just said, and I'm probably not going to buy that much this year. I'll buy some, but if a tea is like a really good year and a really good tea master and a really good job, I'm going to buy so much, because if it doesn't sell, I'm just going to keep it. And if it's a high quality tea, it'll just be good and good and good and good and good. But if it's not the best year, it doesn't really matter what the Tea Master can do in the sense of creating something super exceptional. I probably won't buy that much. And if I don't buy that much, I don't want to give my buddy, hey, can you give me half and half? You know, I don't, if I'm not buying that much, he's going to be like, oh, come on, man. Because, you know, when I buy the teas, there's these huge things in there. Sansajin E-Cub, which means 30 caddies. They call it caddies, Catties, 30 caddies. And each caddy is 600 grams. So it's 18 kilograms. You get, like, you see, I put them in lines. The big teas are 18 kilograms. One of the big ones. And when they finish making the teas, they standardize all the packages in these 30 kilogram things, right? So if they make 100 they make 100 kilograms, then they've got 5 of these things per day, right? So if I'm not buying that much, then they have to break them open and then put them in things and put them in other bags and then send it to me. And it's like ordering off the menu. If you know the place, if you know the guy, you're going to go in there and you say, okay, I would like, salmon on my peanut butter toast today. I would like peanut butter and salmon, please. If you know the place, if you think you can get away with it, then okay, go for it. For me, I can definitely do it. I can get peanut butter and salmon sometimes, but oftentimes that's if I'm ordering a bunch of stuff. If I'm not ordering that much stuff, then I try and stay away from that type of poor behavior, I guess you could say. And so I try and stay away from that. But I will put the two together and see how it works right now. And at first glance, I don't think that works. But I will try it. I will try it later on today. I will try it. Actually, why don't I'll just try it right now. For fun. I will try it right now for fun because I really enjoy things like that. Oh yeah, what did I want to say? So people who listen this far are still listening, then you might be interested in this. So I think probably this week I'm going to set up a Discord server for the more expensive teas, for sort of the $1 a gram stuff. And so that'll be happening this week, most likely. And talked about it last live stream, and I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I am going to do it. Right now, the name for the Discord server will probably be the RPT or RDT Club or something like that. RDT Club, the Respectful Discourse Tea Club. And we'll do our best to make it respectful. And it's open to everybody, but there will be sort of, I'm not going to throw it out there and things like that. Maybe I'll only talk about it near the ends of live streams. so it's only the hardcore people that might want to try it. But I think that's something that I'm going to move towards, and we can all practice respectful discourse and debate teas. I would love to be able to debate some teas because I like debating teas. I like debating ideas and things like that, and debating teas with people that are, well, anyways, I do not like social media at the moment. Let's put it that way. So that's something that will happen probably in the next week or so. Here, actually, I can read it out. So this is this month's subscription box again. Yeah, the RDT Club. Selling teas that cost more than $1 a gram has not been a path Mountain Stream Teas has chosen. While we have found teas that are worthy of sharing in that price range, we have resisted selling teas that expensive for many reasons. That might be changing. On a recent live stream, the topic came up about starting a respectful discourse tea club Discord server where some of these types of teas could be sold, debated among like-minded tea people in a respectful way. Teas like the Bird Planted Red in this month's box are a perfect example of unorthodox, high-value quality teas that we don't usually share, even though many times we would love to. If you're interested in participating in something like this, please let us know or watch the Instagram page for details. If we decide to do it, of course. I think I will. I think I will. And there's no, it's not like a subscription service where you have to pay money to go in or any of that sort of stupid stuff. Hey, Lausha, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. And all sort of that. But I think we'll set it up and we'll see how it goes. And because, let's put it this way. If you're going into a usual tea shop and they like you and they say, okay, let's go look at the top shelf teas. Those are my teas. Those are the teas that I sell. All right. So the top shelf teas, the teas that I sell like this. This would be a top shelf tea in any tea shop anywhere in the world. It would be this. This would be a top shelf tea. What I'm talking about in that server, in that Discord server is like the tea shops that you have to get recommendations to go, who would serve these at the front, and then the tea, then up at the top, up in the back, up in the like other room, like the VIP room, like the velvet curtain or, whatever it is, those types of teas. And those are the types of teas you don't get access to. I mean, you don't get access to those types of teas unless you're somebody sort of like me who knows tea really well, sort of has a name for himself, is respectful, and can talk the talk, right? So if I go in and I talk about one of these teas and somebody hands me one of these teas, I can actually give feedback and I can give a respectful discourse on what the tea is, pick out taste points, ask questions that would be like, oh, was it raining when you made this? Right? So I'm not going to say, oh, what's that bitterness and astringency? No, I say, oh, was it raining? And they go, oh, yeah, it rained in the afternoon for that one. Hey, try this one. This was the sunny day version of that tea. Right? So this is the type of stuff that I get access to that I, generally speaking, don't share. And I don't share because it's expensive, right? And I don't want to insult people by saying the things that people usually insult people with. But having those types of teas out accessible to anyone is a risk. It's a risk because people will not have a respectful discourse, right? So to get into this server, right, this Discord server, it'll be, tell me a story about a tea that you knew was high quality, that you respected the quality, but you didn't like. Why was it high quality? Why didn't you like it? Right? What is that tea? If you can't do that, like you shouldn't be buying $1 a gram teas, right? That's not something you should do. You should not buy $1 a gram teas. I'm sorry, right? You shouldn't be doing it. You're gonna have a bad time because you're gonna have a tea that you don't like, that you paid $1 a gram for, and you're gonna have a meltdown, and you're gonna have anyways. That's what's gonna happen. And so the people who are on the subscription list, you are invited. And the people who watch the live stream to this point, I hope they don't fight again. Anyways, when we started the live stream, the birds were having a bit of a war. But any questions about that, throw it in the chat right now. Trying to think of what are the other questions that I was missing. Let's see if I can find them. Oh, here we go. Questions. Okay, here we go. Random idea: Taiwanese spices in a snack box. Add to that to the sub box. I've thought about that many times. So like there's Chinese medicine soups. You can buy the packages that has the ginseng and the dates and all the various things in it. I've thought about that. The problem is it's really, 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 really almost impossible, super hard to make sure that everything in there is high quality. And that's really tough, right? There's no certified organic Chinese medicine packets, right? And that's one of the things with the Chinese medicine type stuff is that you can grow a lot of the Chinese medicine in your backyard, but it also grows in those mountains behind me. And if you grow it in your backyard and you grow it in those mountains over there, the potency will be completely different. And when I say completely different, the difference between fake apple juice and a crab apple grown on the side of a mountain, like just completely different. And I can't do that. I can't. So I've thought about it. I'll keep looking. But it would be more sort of the single tisanes, the single things, the single herbal teas that I know are good. Say, for example, what I was talking about with the cinnamon. That's a perfect example. I'd love to get in a bunch of the cinnamon and to see if we can do that. The next one, do you ever use tea for cooking? And if so, do you have recipes? I do not use tea for cooking ever, although sometimes you go to restaurants specifically because they use tea for cooking. So there's a very good Japanese restaurant here in, like, I'm so spoiled. Like Taiwan is just like, we're thinking about, should we go to Japan for a vacation? And we thought about it and we're like, the food here is going to be just as good as or better than Japan, and like a quarter of the price. Like why would we fly all the way to Japan to get Japanese food? Now, why is that? Now I say that I've been to the airport in Japan, whatever. But the simple fact of the matter is that Taiwanese people take their food extraordinarily seriously, and there is an extraordinarily strong Japanese influence in Taiwanese cuisine. And so when I say something like that, I mean it in every way. Like I'll give you an example. I grew up in Toronto, and there was a place called King Noodle. It was on Spadina and Dundas, and it just had the best Hong Kong style noodles with the youtiao, which is the deep fried salty donut. And I remember how disappointed I was going to Hong Kong, being like, damn, King Noodle's better than this. What is this? It's not even crispy, and I tried. I did a bunch of different, but I know for a fact that even in this small little town like Hualien, the Japanese food is going to be on par with what you can get in your average Japanese restaurant. I know that. It's just because it's so good. So there are, say, for example, sort of Japanese style la mian. I don't even know the right word in English. Because what do people call instant noodles now? They appropriated the name. Ramen, right? It's a good actual ramen name, noodles. And they actually use oolong as the base for the soup. And that's really good. I could never pull it off. I could never pull that off. It's amazing. And it's fun because I can try the soup. I don't, my wife will usually order it. She likes that type of stuff. I'm more of a, really thick sort of bone broth type of guy. And I'll be up like, oh, they use dongdaemun oolong for that. And she'd be like, shut up. So I want to go ask them and see if I was right. But there are places further south in Taiwan that actually use the leaves, like they fry them up. They use tea leaves and they fry them up in stir fries and things like that. Actually, this is okay. Putting the two tea leaves together, this isn't as hot as I want it to be. But this is actually okay. I'm going to experiment with this. I might call in a favor and order peanut butter and salmon toast. We'll see how it goes. But that was a long way of saying no. So I apologize for that. Can we expect Chilai black tea this year? Can we expect Chilai black tea this year? I hope so. I really, really hope so. The I'm getting the samples in soon. So I'm getting the samples in soon. And I think I've got like maybe 100 grams of last year's. So I'm hoping that the Chilai Shan Black will come in. But do not worry if the Chilai Shan Black from the place last year comes in and it's not as good as I wish it was. Do not worry. Have no fear. When I go to the tea show, I'll be able to find something that's sort of in that range. But I'm hoping that the same place has the same quality of tea because it's awesome. It's just awesome. But I should be getting in those samples this week. The tea show this year is the 15th to the 18th of November, the second tea show of tea show season. And there's somebody, I got to send them a message about Louis Red. Let's see. I tried Discord, but had to delete my account. I'm convinced someone sent me a virus through the server. I'm not certain, but I always had an issue when using it. Well, hopefully it'll be hard to get into this Discord, so there won't be anything in it. But I use Discord all the time, and I've never had an issue with it. So hopefully that'll be okay. I've heard good things about Discord, but sadly, I've never had a good experience. Well, I've had not very many good experiences with tea Discords, and not like negative or bad, just sort of. I like respectful discourse. I don't like gatekeeping and things like that. And so a lot of the places, and it's not just Discord, it's Facebook as well. That's why I feel like Instagram is okay, just because there's not sort of that gatekeeping and toxicity. It's less anonymous, maybe. Well, I guess Facebook's not very anonymous either, is it? Anyways, there's less toxicity, and so sort of Reddit is the most toxic place I've ever seen, and then there is for tea, anyways, and then sort of Facebook and the Discord and things like that. So basically, I'm trying to find a space that's like where people can just agree, and then it's if you walk into the space, you're like, okay, I can disagree with you, but ad hominem attacks or saying you don't understand this or whatever, it's just sort of left, just sort of, it's just not accepted. And I think everybody in the world needs a space like that. But that's basically what we're trying to do. What are you drinking? I am drinking the wintertime tea. So this one here is a mix between the 26th and the 27th harvest. And I think it's better if you mix them together. I'm going to try another go round, but this is the wintertime, the wintertime Pear Mountain. And this year in general is not the best. It's not the best year ever for the wintertime teas. But it's okay. And I mean, it's skilled, beautiful people making wonderful teas. It's okay. Are there any charcoal roasted dong dings coming in the future? I ran out. Yes, there should be. That's a very, very good point. The charcoal roasted dong dings that I had before were, there was somebody else who bought them and put them out there from the same source and charged an arm and a leg. And so I haven't really gone back to it just because I just don't want the drama. But I should bring them back into the shop, right? I should bring them back into the shop. There's no reason why, because they're easy to get. They're just sort of the charcoal roasted dong dings. I am hoping finally that there's a Mr. Chen who's extremely famous in Western sort of circles, and he makes some amazing tea. And I'm hoping that finally, actually, I should get in touch with him. Maybe I'll do it today. But I'm hoping that I can sort of really sit down with him and do this. this year, in the next couple months, and get his teas in. And he does a charcoal roasted dong ding that I've never had. Well, no, that's not true. Okay, let's put it this way. His stuff brings out sort of the fruit flavors and some of these flavors that are insanely good, amazing. They're just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like just so good. And I've had teas that are even better than that, but made by somebody who's just insanely good. Like just a craftsman that you can barely imagine, who's so good. And I'm hoping to get some of his teas. That's for the Discord server. I'm hoping to get some of his teas in the Discord server. And but those teas are like, they can be over $1 a gram. But his teas are just like, I think I told the story when I went to the last, he's a buddy of mine, and I went to the last tea show, and I literally showed up at 7:30 in the morning with him so that we could get some time to chat and drink tea. And as soon as he pulled back the curtain on his thing, it's just like people were coming in because they all want to drink his tea. Anyways, whatever. I wish people could be more civil everywhere. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be ordering any big batches of tea until Wednesday. It's just so insane. Yeah, I think two of them together might be not as good as last year, though. It's still good, right? It's still good, but it's not as good as last year. Anyways, I'll give it a think. I've got another day and a half before I have to make my decision. But yes, I got to do the charcoal roasted dong dings for sure, and I'm hoping to get even better ones. And then there's one that I thought was charcoal roasted until the third steep, and I realized, holy crap, this is electric roast. Blew my mind. And that's the type of stuff I want to throw in the Discord server because it's super expensive. But if you like charcoal roasted dong ding style teas, it's still in my mind. And it's just a happy tea, and it's one of those teas. It was from the springtime, so it's relatively fresh. But I'm like, if you left this tea for 5 years, you would not be able to drink this tea and drive. You would just be like, you'd start talking politics after you drank this tea, right? The chachi was just so strong on it. Beautiful, beautiful flavors. I would try Discord again if you create a new secure group. Well, that's it, right? It would just be very, very, very. I'm going to start a new account even, and just have it. Just you had to. The only way you can get in is if you fill out the sort of the form, and you prove that you are capable of holding two different opinions in your head at the same time. I do not like this tea, but this tea is high value quality. If you can do that, then you are welcome. If you cannot do that, run away. Run away, run away, run away. Go to like a protest or whatever. Yeah. So, any other questions about anything right now? I'm sure everybody's just dying for a bee update. This box right here, unfortunately, the queen died, and I have no idea why. The queen just died. It happens, and so they're building new. They're building new queen cells, right? They're doing the new queen. The problem is that they've also got a varroa mite infestation, and so a lot of the bees have. There's something called there's something called the varroa mite virus complex, and basically what that means is a bunch of different viruses that are in with those damn mites. And what happens is it messes with their wings. And so when they come out, their wings are messed up like this poor lady right here. You can see her wings. And so her wings are messed up. And so they kick them out of the hive. They're a little bit social Darwinistic, I guess you could say, the bees are. Which unfortunately, both sides in the United States are becoming more and more that way. And so I'm getting a lot of die-offs from that. I'm sure everybody's super interested in that. But I'm having to sweep up these poor bees. Makes me sad. And I should treat the hive. I'm not a big fan of sort of the chemicals and things like that. There's ones that are not too bad. But I can't do it right now until they make her new queen. So I'm sure everybody was super interested in that. Misfit bees. They can come live with me. Well, there's a bunch of them if you want. But I'm doing semi-urban beekeeping right now, and I love it. But I'm a little bit scared because there's a lot of gardens around here. And sometimes in the fall, they will put on homicidal chemicals for both themselves and the people around. And so I'm hoping that this year, it gets better every year, but I'm hoping this year is a good year. Anyways, last call for questions. Last call for questions. I do not know which day of these two I'm going to get. I'm still sort of sampling. I'll probably get the 26, honestly. This is 26, right? It's got just enough wintertime that's there. And the lingering aftertaste is gorgeous. The aftertaste on this just lingers and lingers and lingers and lingers and lingers. 27 has got more of sort of the wintertime sort of oomph, but I think I'm probably not going to get that. Anyways, we'll see. I haven't decided yet. Tea gambling. All right. So there we go. I think we covered everything. I did all the questions. If anybody out there has any other questions about any of this stuff, throw it in the chat. Get in touch. I'll answer your questions about any of this stuff. Yeah, the subscription box this month, I usually don't talk about it just because it's not a big part of my business. It's just kind of fun. But this month's subscription box is really good. Like, it's really good. You don't get a lot of all the different teas, but you get to try some amazing stuff, right? So there's vanilla, dragon's eye flowers, the bird planted red, the 2 different years of the Dongding tea cakes as a blind taste test, and then the 2 different whites, the Alpine white high elevation and the the Sancha white lower elevation as a blind taste test. You guys can try out and see if you can tell the difference in elevation. But anyways, wherever you are in the world, I certainly hope you have an amazing night, evening, morning. I hope you sleep well. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful morning and day tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next live stream.